FA presents The Inner Circle.
And away we go!
Starring Coach Ant and Coach Rel.
Welcome to Our Friendly Advice, guys. I'm your host, the Crazy Dog Lady, and we are here today with...
This is Minister Ant. How y'all doing?
Coach Rel, how y'all doing?
And today we're going to be talking about courtship versus dating. So to get started, you were just on the Shade Room, and you guys were talking about courtship and dating, right?
Yeah.
So let's start there.
Okay, it was interesting. One, the fact that they even found me was crazy, right?
Okay.
From this video I made about courtship versus dating, which was on the back of me just having conversations over the week. A few teenagers that I disciple, a couple young adults, and it stuck out to me that nobody knows the difference between courting and dating, and I was seeing the effect of it. So all of them was coming out of relationships with broken hearts, insecurity, and not knowing their space and place while they were dating, right? So I was like asking certain questions. Those were never conversations. Y'all never spoke about that. And when they really thought about it, they're like, nah, it was never a concrete conversation about anything. We just was going off of vibes. So then I'm driving. The thought hit me, and then I made the video. And you look up, that thing had like 500K views and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna hit 1 million at some point. Long story short, the Shade Room inboxed me, and then the next thing you know, I was on the Shade Room talking about courting and dating. So that's kind of how that transpired.
Ooh, okay. I didn't know the backstory.
Yeah, that's how it went.
So that's the new thing with this generation is the vibes. Everybody want to go with the vibes. Did anybody talk to you specifically about what courtship is versus dating?
No, nobody talked to me specifically about it. I kind of studied it, when early in the faith, as I came into the faith, because I saw how it was destroying our communities, which is what I said in the Shade Room thing, and they was like taken aback by it, but it's the truth. Like broken homes, blended families, single fathers, single mothers, all stem from just going with vibes, not quite sure where you fit in, and nothing really concrete. I even think the divorce rate is the highest that it's ever been because people just wasn't courting each other. I'm watching people in the faith and out of the faith, they get married in 30 to 45 days. I'm watching them, they met each other twice, never met the families, but all of a sudden they bringing the families into the household. Like, this is stuff that I'm seeing. And it's also playing into people's singleness. Like, people have PTSD from dating, so much so that they much rather be single and now they in a space where they went from the victim to the predator. I was a victim of dating. Now I'm a predator of it because now I don't want to commit to nothing. I don't want to put nothing concrete on anything. And now my singleness is just a trial run of whatever I wanted to make it. And that's what I'm seeing out here. So I think it's a much needed, necessary conversation for us to have. So let's have it. So I have a question for y'all. First of all, do y'all know the definition of courtship?
Not definitively.
So what is it to you? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, my definition is going to come from what I've been hearing you say, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Like being intentional, like all across the board, like going into it, understanding each person's place and have an expectation for you both as a union. Like, okay, so while we're dealing with each other, before you brought the term courtship into it, I used to refer to it as exclusive dating, where two people just, maybe y'all not putting a title on a boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything like that, but you guys are being intentional about giving each other your undivided attention, learning each other, and not letting outside or, third parties interfere with that. What would you say?
I think my understanding of the definition of courtship is it's extreme intentionality. So I think even in your statement of being exclusive, I think being exclusive is just simultaneously saying it's just me and you, whereas courtship is understanding the beliefs where you and how you guys are going to connect future wise. So you're taking what the back end looks like and bringing it to the front. So if you are a believer, all right, do we believe the same? So we're doing that. What is your understanding of God? And then we're breaking that down. And then for the next journey would be understanding one another. What is your psychological beliefs? And then breaking it down like that. And then it's going into the family history. Well, what was your parenting like? What was your home style like? What was it like with your siblings? And then seeing the flaws and seeing if any of those issues that come up will derail a relationship with this person. Whereas I think with dating is just the extreme of time. So we last an X amount of time, you'll become my girlfriend, you'll become my boyfriend. And then during that plight, however, everyone has their different rules. So that could be 30 days, it could be a year, it could be 6 months. After that, you had no intentionality because you don't know this person. And that's where, like Ant was saying, that people get married is like, okay, well, I don't know your beliefs on children. So if a child is born and there's the doctors coming back and saying, well, this child has a 60% chance of it being autistic, and you don't want that as the man, but the woman's like, I'm gonna love that child regardless. Well, y'all shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with, because if you would have talked about it in the very beginning of how y'all see kids and what that looks like, you wouldn't have gotten to that situation. So I was just saying it's extreme measurables.
Okay. That's a great breakdown. Like, in courtship, you think with the end in mind. So the end in mind is marriage, then that conversation is going to be had very early. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're my wife. It's expectations and standards that's being set from the very beginning. Therefore, I'm going to get there anyway. Are you coming with me?
Right.
So now, even in arguments, even in miscommunications, debates, it sounds different in courtship than it does in dating. In courtship, it's two things that's happening. And here go the difference. When you date, people say, I have to vet this person. And if we're being honest, over the last 10 years, people haven't been doing a good job at vetting anyway. And that's coming from a natural standpoint. But in courtship, not only are you vetting, but you're discerning. That's a spiritual thing. I'm looking at this person spiritually and saying, do this person fit? Is they tailor-made to the standard and the vision that God laid for me? And then the vetting comes from not just the person that's courting, but the community that's built around both of y'all. Because they could see into the blind spots, which, to Darrell's point, that's where the father will come into play. That's where the grandmother will come into play. That's where the mother will come into play. The siblings will come into play. Because they might see some blind spots that you might not see. But like I said before, and this is a wild, wild west out here with dating. People not even meeting each other's families no more. They just jumping right into situations. And something I said on the Shade Room, again, that they was kind of like taken back by, as if it was the first time they was hearing it. I said, you should know your position in somebody's life before they put you in a position in bed. And dating is humping. It's nonstop. It's the opposite. I read this book called The Purity Code one time. And it was written for teenagers, 14 to 16, but I read it as an adult. And it like changed my perspective on certain things. Here's what it said in it. It said that people are more sexually mature than they are mature in any other space. It's dangerous when it comes to dating, because I know how to please you as far as sexually, but I don't know how to please you in no other way. But you asking this person to be in your life for the rest of your life. On what basis? On basis of what? Just because they good in sex and then everything else is just up in the air, right? You are literally gambling. Darrell would tell you, just like business, any business that you start, the reason why we put investment on it and the reason why we put time, energy, and effort is return on investment. I want a return on investment on the things that I'm putting my energy in. Dating does not give you a return on your investment. You actually waste money dating. You dating 5 people at a time. What these bills running up, these restaurant bills running up, 160 on a good night? You doing that about 3-4 times a week. I'm not good at math, but man, that sounds like a lot of money. Just for you to not know where you stand?
Right.
That just don't make no sense to me.
I think a lot of it plays into people's lack of self-love, lack of self-awareness. Just how people view themselves. It projects in their love life, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. I think that dating turns into projection of trauma.
mm-hmm.
People are not dating; they're trauma bonding. Just think about the day-to-day conversation that you have with somebody. Like, majority of it is trauma bonding. Listen, because the moment that you start talking about healing, all of a sudden it get a little scarce out here. All of a sudden you become abstinent. It gets scarce out here.
Mm-hmm.
You start withholding some things that's supposed to be secure in marriage. All of a sudden, everybody act like they don't understand, right? That in itself would save you. That's courtship. Courtship is basketball, one-on-one. We playing a one-on-one game of basketball, and let's sharpen each other's skills while we doing that. Dating looks like 5-on-5 runs. It looked like 5-on-5, bro. Where it's just everybody, whoever got the rock at the time got the rock and whatever. And it's like you giving people too much access, intentionality. You focus on one person at a time. If you spending your time focused on 3-4 people at a time, how efficient and effective can you actually be? I don't know, man. It's just a much needed conversation that we need to have, and the people that's watching Our Friendly Advice need to have this conversation with whoever they dealing with. Is there intentionality even in how y'all talk to each other? You brought this up before the pod. A woman know how to control her tongue when it comes to her boss, but you're not intentional about controlling your tongue when it comes to your man. Why? It's deeper than intentionality. Now we talking about respect, trust, honor. Like, your boss is giving you a check. Your spouse supposed to be giving you everything else, including financial stability. So that's where it get a little weird for me.
But the word you just used was, you said your spouse is supposed to,
Mm-hmm.
but people's spouse ain't always living up to that expectation. So now when it looks like a woman is, should go to work and honor her boss, but not her man, there's probably a reason why. So
There's no reason why.
I was gonna say,
I think people have made, and I think this is the segue of why dating is so destructive. I think people have made up rules with dating. I don't get with a woman because of X, Y, and Z. I get with her in my mind because I rock with you as a person. I've aligned my morals with yours. Mm-hmm. I understand your mindset. And for richer or for poor, if we was dirt poor, I'd be cuddling with you in a tent. And if we were rich, I'd be cuddling with you in a mansion. I don't change that off of finances. The fact that your relationship, and a lot of girls base their relationship, or a lot of women base their relationship off of financials, that's not a core relationship. Because what if they change? Like, what if, like, the world around us is changing so much since Trump's been in office, right? So let's just play the scenario. What happens if they change money tomorrow and they made it a new format? So everybody that's rich ain't rich no more, because now you have to get this new currency. Let's say it's credit. Everybody, you got to get to 1,000 chips to be a crediteer or whatever. Now what? So you gonna leave the person you with because now you're at the bottom? Because he 2 seconds ago he was worth $100 billion, but today he ain't worth nothing. So it shouldn't be about finances. That you shouldn't answer to someone, or you shouldn't even, your tongue shouldn't be sharp because he's lessened on the finances this month, and now you've got to kick in. It should be, we're in this for the long haul together. And I think if you shape your mind to those characteristics or those traits, you have, like the aunt said, it's going to be the end. Because remember, you said courtship leads to the end goal of us, the long lasting.
Right.
Dating seems like it's going to lead to the end.
Right.
So
good point. I had to collect my thoughts because I agree. I'm not saying I don't agree. But when we talking about vetting, it's like, okay, a lot of women do make relationships and marriage about finances. I can agree to that. But isn't there a part on the man's behalf where, like, he should also be vetting the woman that he's bringing into his life, and in vetting her, he should recognize, oh, she just want me for my money.
I think here's the thing, man. And again, I said this on the Shade Room too. It's certain things that a man should have when he show up. Like, he should show up with integrity. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have to beg for it or ask for it. He should show up like that. But in courtship, that is the standard. And dating is, he got this going for himself, that going for himself. I could fix the rest, like a little project. And courtship is a man already coming with identity, a man already stepping in this thing with purpose, a man already stepping in this thing with intentionality. He already stepping in with it. So here's why a man like that is dangerous, right? Because as a woman, you have no choice but to step up. You got no choice, but if you're gonna stand by side with a man like that, you can't come with insecurities. Mm-hmm. That man is 100% sure who he is. Are you? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, these are certain things. In dating, I ain't got to worry about that. You know, I can just kind of...
I'm going to ask you as a woman, right, going off Ant's point, what does vetting look like for you? Like, when you sit down and you're like, you're examining and analyzing this person that you want to be with, what are the core foundational principles that you're breaking down to examine if this is going to work or not?
So this is new to me because I wasn't taught to vet the men that I entertain. I wasn't taught even what to look for. Like, that's just not something that was talked about to me. So one, I be going off for like Aunt Dad.
All right, so what that look like?
Everything that you're explaining, like, he knows who he is. He knows his identity. He knows his purpose. And he's very quick to, like, if you're not in alignment with that vision, it's like you over there. Mm-hmm. So, when I guess date, so to speak, it's like I'm looking for that. Like that man that can't be moved. Mm. That man that is like a man of valor. Like he's 10 toes in who he is and sure of it, you know? So much so that his finances don't define him. What he has on his feet or the amount of money, those things don't define him. He could lose it all today and he's still going to be that same man because he knows who he is. He know he could get it all back.
Mm. So prior to that, how was you picking him in? Based on what?
He vibes. Cute.
Oh, so
he got money. Yes, it was that. And then, you know, I shared that I came from that nightlife world. Mm-hmm. So especially coming from that, it alters your mind because now it's like the money is the motive. So for a while, that's it. It stays in the club, but eventually it becomes a part of your identity. It becomes a part of who you are as a person. It's like, okay, now I'm not interested in no man that don't got this amount of money. He could be good for me. He could be good for my spirit, all of them things. But when you're in that mentality, you overlook that. I dated a guy who, it's funny, my family was just joking. They brought him up like, oh, where he at? Because my mom always says, like, I think about him all the time. He would have been good for you. And I can't say that I disagree. He was a very good dude, but he was boring to me at that phase in my life because my mindset wasn't in, I need a good man who's going to be a leader, who's going to be, you know, all the things that I'm looking for in a man today or like that I look for in a man. So I overlooked it. And unfortunately, a lot of us do that. We overlook it because that's just not the space that we in.
So like, outside of you, when you actually look at like your friends over the years, and they'll come to you either for advice or they'll whatever that girl talk look like, how did they vet men?
We was all lost. It was the blind leading the blind, if I'm being honest, because you know them conversations come over was like, you know, she meet a dude and he all right. And then she like, oh, you know, we about to go here, come, because his boy, you know, he bring his boy. Now, we all, like I said, the blind leading the blind. Like, you inviting me, you don't even know this man, you don't know what he about, but you inviting me, and like a dummy, I'm following suit. So, yeah, it's a whole lot of that still goes on today. That's why, like, I have 3 younger sisters, I have younger female cousins, and I tell them all the time, like, please know your worth.
Okay.
Like, that's big for me now. Like, when I'm talking to my little sisters, know your worth. And if you feel like you not worthy, or I'm telling you, but you got to know it for yourself, you need to take a step back and start focusing on that. Because when you don't see your self-worth and you don't have your self-respect, you just be out here doing anything.
I'm gonna tell y'all like clearly, like how I see it. If I was really to sit somebody down, like practically, and explain courtship and dating to them, I'll tell them like courtship is like clarity, then intimacy, and dating is clarity through intimacy. That's how I would explain it. Cause like, if when courtship is there, clarity has to be had in order for it to be sustainable in any measure. Like you got to set up, there's certain parameters and boundaries that got to be had. You got to be able to watch, and both parties have to know, like, I'm studying you. Like, I want you to be clear about that. Like, from day one, you are being studied. Some may say you are being tested. Absolutely. Because when you test something, it comes with a refinement process that has to be had. I got to sit and watch you over some time and see, like, are you pandering? Right? We talked about that before the pod. Are you, just a pick me because it was some past damages that you dealt with, and now you look up and you look using the safe man just because he's safe, or the safe woman just because you tired of getting hurt and cheated on, or whatever the case may be. It got to be some clarity that's had, and clarity comes through effective communication at all times. So I don't know how y'all feel about that.
I gotta ask you a question first, because it kind of trickles off what she said. Don't be offended, because it's
Go ahead.
What's a menstrual like?
Like a menstrual cycle? Like, I don't know.
You don't know, right? Now, this is the craziest part that I think this is what women do. Like I said to you, we talk about this all the time. I've been in a lot of female spaces. How can a woman tell other women about how men act? That's like me and you talking about a menstrual cycle. Something we've never experienced, know nothing about. Only get the feedback off of what y'all say, or the women that we around, our moms, our sisters, or the girls we date, and see what it's like for them. But we cannot speak on a menstrual cycle. I can tell you the definition, but I can't speak on it. Can't tell you what y'all go through. The way in which girls give each other advice about men in relationships is nutty to me. And it's like everything is leave him. It's never, well, it led to this. And what are your actions? And another thing I see in a lot of female spaces, accountability is not had. But also I find that it all leads back to courtship, right? Because courtship, in my eyes, is the blanket of a guidebook, right? It's a setup system to help you eliminate the waste from a person to know exactly what you want. But in dating, none of that I don't have to be who I am when I date you. I can come up, because you're not asking when you go to a job and you go to a corporate job, they're asking questions, deep rooted questions, to see who you are as an individual, to see if you are a good fit. If you're an entry level job, they don't care about who you are. As long as they can tell you, as long as you show up on time and you clock in and clock out and they know where you are, they don't care. So that's the difference in the courtship. It's like, who are you as a person? And in dating, it's like, I don't know you as a person. Because a lot of people leave dating and they see somebody doing action and they can't believe, and they're like, I really didn't know that person. I know you didn't know that person because you didn't do anything extensive. And even when, like, we mentor the boys and stuff like that, and we mentor these girls, some of the questions that we ask are real basic questions for a relationship. And all of them, boys and girls, be like, I don't know.
I have no idea what the check.
What you mean? So you idea. So outside of her being pretty,
yeah, what
is it? I don't know, bro. You're with her for a year. I don't know. So you own her aesthetics is the only thing carrying this relationship, and you deal with all these things on your heart. The way she talked to you, her attitude, all this, you take it with you because she's aesthetically pleasing. It has no value, and that's why I think it's hard in the dating pool for a lot of people.
I'll say this: this a hot topic, but there's something to say. Everybody for the last 3-4 years, the number one thing everybody talk about, emotional intelligence, right? You can't even date you can't court if you don't have emotional intelligence. You got to show up like that. You got to show up knowing, like, okay, I did the assessment on myself. Am I emotionally available to take this person on fully? Before you even find yourself putting a level of investment. Courtship also says that as I'm building up clarity, I'm asking myself, should I invest here? Dating, you watch it. People be on 0%, and trying to get over one person with another person. That's the number one thing with a lack of emotional intelligence. You don't even know how to. You're not self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
You don't self-assess. You don't got emotional regulation. None of that is there. So now here's another thing about dating that's dangerous. And we mental health advocates, so we can speak on this. When hurt is like stamped in your life,
Mm-hmm.
you might not feel it until 2 years later. You 2 years later in a whole nother relationship, but this man or woman is the standard in this relationship. So sexually, this person don't please you, but you somewhere thinking about somebody else, the last dude or the last woman that's the standard sexually with this person right here. You somewhere in this relationship saying, yo, that last person ain't argue with me like that. There's still some hurt and some pain there in the dating pool. And that's why everybody say the same thing. The dating pool has piss in it. Why? Because nobody know how to clean themselves. Nobody got the hygiene or the maintenance in order to keep up with themselves. Nobody know how to pull themselves out of the pool and say, yo, maybe I should sit this one out. Courtship, you got to do the work before you show up. Because if you're courting somebody that's of value, they're gonna point your flaws out. Like what's that light, that black light that showing people?
Yeah,
It's the black light that was on Cheaters. You listen, you might not catch everything, but when you put that black light to the bed, you start seeing the stuff a natural eye can't see. That's what discernment and courtship look like. You start looking and you going, yo, I know they ain't spot this, but here it go right here. Yo, explain that to me. Now it's like, God start putting, a community around you where you might say something casually about somebody that you court, and we'll slow you down and go, yo, that was weird. Repeat that again. He said what?
Because you listen
Because
different.
Because love, I don't love him. I don't love the girl that you courting. So I'm listening from a different set of ears, like, and I love you enough to correct you, but still not be biased to your standard. So if you bring me something and I'm part of your community, I'ma listen straight fair down the line and go, yeah, bro, you was out of pocket right here. Yeah, no, that ain't it. What you mean? You accepted that? Let me remind you of something. 3 years ago, you left somebody for something way less than what you accepted in this right here. Why? Because dating comes with exhaustion. People are exhausted. But at the core of it, dog, at the core of dating, the reason why it's terrible right now, is not the fact that people are serial dating, but if you really get to the mental health under it, people are afraid to be alone. What's up, y'all? If y'all like with this conversation that we've been having, the inner circle, man, first of all, if you want to be a guest, feel free to hit us up, man. We're going to look into your credentials, see who you are. If you fit the criteria, then feel free to sit down on this couch right here, the hot seat. And another thing, like, subscribe, and lock in with us on all social media platforms, Our Friendly Advice. And to visit our website is ourfriendlyadvice.net. You can book us there. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.